We fund massive engineering budgets to build complex autonomous systems. We then force those same senior engineers to spend hours every morning hunting for basic API specifications buried in disconnected chat threads. The data reveals a precise operational failure. The average knowledge worker burns 20% of their week simply searching for internal context across fragmented software platforms. This chart translates the scale of the leak. At a fully loaded rate of $50 an hour, a 30-minute daily search delay costs $4,500 per employee. For a mid-sized enterprise, that equates to a $6.25 million annual deficit. This capital hemorrhage occurs through invisible friction: a 10-minute hunt for a CAD assembly here, a 20-minute wait for a colleague to provide a context link there. The root cause is a structural design failure. The data is completely isolated. The repair mechanism requires pure data linkage. You must stop acquiring new software tools and start forcing your existing disconnected systems into a single queryable index. Ignoring the mundane mechanics of internal file retrieval quietly drains millions of dollars from otherwise highly capable engineering operations. Consider a standard geographically distributed engineering team. We have two primary operational nodes: a back-end development group in Tokyo and product management in Toronto. A Tokyo-based developer hits a broken microservice. To proceed, they need the specific API documentation for that component. The documentation exists. It lives in an unnamed Notion page owned by a product manager in Toronto. Because this file exists outside a global index, the developer cannot pull the data. Their search returns nothing, forcing a manual request for access. The 12-hour time zone differential ensures the product manager is asleep. The request sits unread. The physical consequence is immediate. Velocity flatlines. A critical code deployment halts entirely until the next business day. A simple, unindexed pointer converts a minor, localized documentation issue into a catastrophic 12-hour global workflow stall. When executive leadership recognizes this friction, the standard reflex is to purchase a centralized productivity dashboard to unify the team. Departments possess their own budgets. Procurement stores contracts in Google Drive, while engineering tracks issues in Jira. The data lives in disconnected silos. Introducing another interface requires teams to manually migrate files or manually link contacts between these platforms. At an enterprise scale, this manual labor is unsustainable. It is inevitably abandoned. Mathematically, adding a new centralizing tool simply adds another isolated node to your network. The fragmentation compounds. Employees adapt to this broken architecture. They develop severe search anxiety. Instead of fighting the system, they hoard files on their local desktop drives to ensure access. Once engineers begin operating from local folders, the central repository loses its status as the source of truth. Internal telemetry shows that frustrated employees frequently recreate existing assets completely from scratch, rather than attempt to find them. Attempting to solve data isolation by purchasing visual user interfaces worsens the fragmentation of the enterprise. We must apply absolute first principles to this failure. Strip away the branding and the complex software features. A digital file is merely a pointer within a directory structure. Internal documentation is nothing more than a string of text bytes. To engineer an effective data retrieval system, we must completely eliminate the organization's reliance on visual web interfaces. Stop forcing engineers to log into 5 different applications to locate a single text string. The required architectural replacement is pure indexing. A unified search API must sit beneath the application layer. Treating internal data retrieval as an engineering constraint bypasses departmental ego. Procurement and engineering can retain their preferred tools, provided the underlying text is indexed globally. Recognizing enterprise knowledge as raw, queryable data strings rather than formatted documents is the prerequisite for repairing the workflow stall. You can prove this indexing concept to executive leadership within 48 hours. The process requires zero capital expenditure. Look at this code structure. The mechanism relies on writing a lightweight Python script designed to bypass user interfaces entirely. Set your ingestion targets. Select the 50 most accessed Confluence pages and the 50 most active Jira tickets in your current sprint. Execute the script to extract the raw JSON payloads directly from these platforms using their respective REST APIs. Push those raw text payloads into a local Elasticsearch instance. A single, queryable text file accessible on the local network works equally well. Construct a simple HTML text input connected to this new index. Instruct your engineering lead to use this single search bar instead of opening the separate cloud applications. Present a binary question to the operator. Does querying this raw text index eliminate your 12-hour time zone stall? This bare-bones script proves that disconnected repositories can be forced into a single data index without acquiring new software platforms. We demand strict mechanical tolerances when engineering our external products. We accept catastrophic, chaotic tolerances in our internal file management. From this point forward, treat internal document retrieval with the exact rigid parameter engineering applied to your physical assemblies. Review this query readout. Establish a strict latency rule. A search request for internal documentation must return a verified result in under 200 milliseconds. 200 milliseconds is the hard cognitive limit for maintaining operational flow. Any delay beyond this breaks concentration and invites the user to abandon the search entirely. Any internal search response slower than 200 milliseconds is a structural system failure. It guarantees the return of search anxiety and local file hoarding. Return to our geographically distributed team. The unified data index is now in place. The Tokyo developer hits the broken microservice and queries the central index for the specification. The index instantly links the developer to the text string stored in Toronto. It ignores the physical location. It bypasses the platform silos entirely. The physical workflow resumes immediately. The developer writes the necessary software patch, and the critical code deployment executes without delay. Stop buying productivity dashboards. Route all directory paths to a single queryable index. Pure indexing is the only architectural method to eliminate asynchronous delays and restore the operational capacity of your engineering team.